case anybody's wondering.
They can't hear you because your mic is too good now.
I know. I was trying to be like, in case anybody's wondering, that bristly sound is actually the sound of Josh stroking his beard across from me.
That's my pondering thought.
Yeah, he's pondering.
Stroke.
He's pondering pretty hard.
Pondering.
He pondered so hard his ponderer was broken or sore. Thing the Grinch.
The Grinch
is the puzzler. His puzzle.
One of the best Christmas movies of all time.
Absolutely, hands down. The original animated version by Dr. Seuss.
I like the Jim Carrey one too.
That's good. The other one. I haven't seen the other. The kids
new
one they made. Yeah.
That one's actually not bad either.
Yeah.
I think I'm just a Grinch fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't blame you. I have a Grinch t-shirt. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man. Speaking of Christmas t-shirts, dude, I got Melissa a shirt while we were in New Hampshire, and it's like it's like a picture of Santa Claus winking and like pointing the finger, and then it says, "Tell me what you want, what you really, really want."
That's pretty funny. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Josh.
And this is the PUDs Podcast. Spice Girls reference for anybody who didn't know that.
Yeah.
If you're much younger than us, you probably don't know what that reference was.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
All right, man. So what's up?
What's up, buddy? What's going on?
PUDs Podcast, episode 10.
I stopped keeping track, I'm being honest.
We made it to episode 10.
10's a big number.
You're making me second guess if it's 10 now, but I'm about 99% sure it's episode 10.
Yeah, I think it's 10.
Ron, it feels like a big accomplishment having 10 podcasts.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm proud of it.
Talked about a lot of stuff already. That's why I think it's kind of amazing when people have like hundreds and hundreds of episodes of podcasts.
I know. It's broad. We get broad. We don't get... I mean, we can get specific if we want to and talk about the same thing every week, but it's way more fun just talking about...
Agreed. I think we will try to get some more guests in here next week or the week after.
Yeah.
We already talked about some potential prospects.
Yeah, we got a few.
Prospects.
I got a few in mind, too.
I think it worked really well when we had Adam back.
Oh, yeah.
Or we had Adam the first time, I should say.
We're going to have to have
That was
him
a combined sentence of me trying to say, I think it worked out well when we had Adam and we should have him back, but it just came out as one incohesive thought stream.
I agree, though. We definitely got to have him back on, but we have a few people. I'm feeling good, dude. Yeah. I just woke up from a nap, before I came here.
Nice.
I went into work at 3:30 this morning.
I was going to say, did you work super early?
Yeah. I went into work 3:30 this morning, and then I got out at 1.
Nice.
And then I just napped and came right here.
Well, that's good. I was going to say, you came in all already comfy dressed.
Ready to go.
You weren't dressed in usually Josh comes over and he's dressed in a suit and tie. And I have to judge the mood by the colors he's wearing.
My colored shirt.
Yeah, the colors that day. He likes to wear his emotions and his colors.
Yeah.
We'll say.
I like it. Yeah. Got to put fear and intimidation.
Yeah. Gotta watch out if he's looking fiery. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh, man.
All right, man. So you ready to get into it?
Let's get into the scramble.
So what's happening? What's happening this weekend? I know we both were on vacation in the past couple weeks. We're gonna save that for the main topic because I think we have a lot of stories about our goings away.
Yep, we did, and Ashley and Nate's wedding.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we did that, and that was awesome. Jeremiah was the ring bearer. He did great, dude. It was a perfect wedding. It was a perfect wedding. It came together very nicely. We had such a blast. I had a couple too many Mai Tais, I think, but we had such a fun time. So that's a good note of things that we did this week. And then as of Monday, I fired my electrician from my house.
Finally.
And
I heard you now have electricity.
Yeah, because I hired some competent electricians. Shout out to friend of the podcast, Adam. And also, friend of the podcast who's been waiting for this shout out for a long time, Josh Nagia. He's been waiting for this shout out. He's like, "How come you don't shout me out?" I'm like, "Oh, you're getting a shout out this week, buddy."
When we have a website, which I'm sure will happen eventually, we're gonna have a little shout out wall, and we'll put you on there.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything other than that you'll be on a web page.
Well, we'll
link it to your Instagram or something.
Oh, well, MySpace top 8 it.
Yeah,
top
exactly.
8 people of the week.
Exactly. Top 8 friends of the podcast.
Yeah.
Ashley and Mel always have to be 1 and 2. Or equally 1, and then we can have other
funny.
options.
We should do that.
Yeah.
You gotta fight for that top spot.
You really do.
You gotta fight for it. But yeah, so I got electricity as of today. They literally went today, banged it out in like 6 hours, dude. Those guys are rock stars.
It's just crazy how many weeks months.
Yeah.
Even now, you've just been waiting for that to get done.
That's gonna be an episode. I'm gonna talk about like
we'll have to talk about the
house building experience and like the pros and cons and like the things that I've gone through. Cause
I'm sure from your experience, it could definitely benefit other people.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're looking to build your own house,
there's so many things I didn't even think of, like until it's happening. It's like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, why didn't I do this? Like, so we'll save that for a whole other episode, dude. That'll take a 2-hour episode to go through all that, all my gripes. Yeah. But yeah, man. So it's nice to finally have electricity in my house. It's nice to know that now that's the final thing that needed to get done. So they just do the inspection on that. Do the final overall inspection, and then we'll get the occupancy. So
cool, man.
Fingers crossed, man.
Very cool, exciting stuff.
How about you? Anything?
Nothing too major. I think the weekend before we left, I don't think we got up to too much. Kind of blanking on what we did.
We golfed though this past weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but this past weekend I shot an 86. I just played really well. Round, I don't even know what's going on. I don't know. I was putting. I mean, I think all parts of my game just came together at different points.
You unleashed your inner sea monster.
Yeah, I did. I definitely unleashed the inner sea monster for sure. That goes back, joke reference from way back that I forget where it came from now.
We were at Lincoln when
I think so.
Playing with a friend of the podcast, Nate.
Yeah, I made from making some good iron shots I made like a crazy putt on 10. I think after like literally duffing my tee shot, hit like an okay second shot to get on, to get kind of in position, and then good chip shot, and then made like, I don't know, like a 20-foot.
That was crazy.
Like a 20
it was
foot,
awesome
25-foot putt, probably.
That was an awesome putt. It was an awesome round, dude. Like very few mistakes out of you that round.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked.
Yeah.
I was trying not to think about it. And 17 on a cushion at River Valley is always my arch nemesis, and I'd part it.
Yeah.
On 17, that's where I knew I was like, it's happening. Yeah. It's happening today.
Yeah. You had two really good shots on 17. Oh no, you hit the green.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I part it. Like usually I double bogey that thing like all the time.
Yeah. That was a great round. I know now I'm in a groove because I didn't play great, but I still broke 100, so I'm happy with that.
I was gonna say, about yourself, like you had a pretty decent round yourself.
Yeah. Good putt. Like my putting has been on point.
Yep.
The drivers hit. It's not as hit or miss. It's more hits right now, and if it is not great, it's
your chipping was like lights out. Like I don't think I saw you make one bad chip onto the green.
Yeah, that's been.
And you ended up in a bunker, I think, once or twice.
Yeah,
and you hit out well. Yeah. You hit out perfectly fine.
Yeah. It's a 60-degree wedge, dude. I love my 60-degree wedge. Yeah. Flop shots all day.
Cool.
But yeah, man. So, do you got anything else, or are we gonna get into our new thing?
I think that's really all I've got. I didn't really do too much else, and we just got back on Saturday. So yeah.
So we got a new segment that we're gonna do.
Yeah. In light of I was kind of brainstorming today, and in light of the giant musical discussion we had last week. Yeah. I just am listening to a bunch of music all the time, and I'm sure Josh was in the same boat of like, I just was like, I totally spaced because I didn't write stuff down and I wasn't as organized as Josh was last week. But even then still, there still would have been stuff I missed, but I just completely spaced on even recent artists I was listening to. So have a new idea for what we were going to call it again?
It's going to be Nick's Music Moment.
Nick's Music Moment that we're going to do weekly. I go running and walking quite a few times a week, and I'll listen to music or podcasts pretty much all the time. So I figured it'd just be kind of cool to pick out the sort of top 5 songs or 5 songs that are on my mind that week that I've been listening to.
Yep.
And I'll try to write them down so we don't repeat them as things go on.
You should write them down.
Yeah, I absolutely will. I'm going to write them down and I'll write the episode. I get a little notepad for it.
It's funny because when I went back and I listened to that episode, there was 2 things that popped out at me. I missed way too many songs that I really enjoy and too many artists I really enjoy. and then I also sounded like garbage. I think and then I ended up getting a cold like the next day or day after. I'm like, why is my voice?
Your voice was hoarse.
Yeah, it was so hoarse.
I noticed it more as I was listening to it back after I mixed it and mastered it and stuff. But I was like, you sounded like maybe you just had a tired day.
No, it was. I ended up getting sick. I had like a bad like cough the next couple of days with.
Yeah, it was subtle. Gross. It's not like you sounded, but I could just tell you were subdued. You sound a little bit more lively today.
I am. I just had a nap.
Yeah, so, that'll help too.
And anybody that knows me knows that's one of my like top 3 favorite things is having a good nap.
He practically cartwheeled up the stairs today.
But let's go into Nick's music moment.
All right, so we're gonna do. I figured it'd be cool to let people know the album, but we'll do the song title, the artist, and the album, and I'll just kind of mention something about it. So the first song.
And hold on.
Yeah.
So these are just songs that you're listening to this week. Okay.
Yeah, like literally today. Listen to these while I was running and stuff.
Let's do it.
So the first one on this list is About You. It's by the band called the 1975. They've been around for a bit. I haven't listened to a lot of their albums other than this one. I think it's their newest. Not positive. The album name is called Being Funny in a Foreign Language. It's kind of a ballady, just sort of pop kind of. Very reminiscent of like sort of like a just 80s like kind of love song kind of thing, but really catchy. It's got this little guitar riff sort of driving through the background of it.
Like Wham?
Not like Wham. Like Wham. But yeah, for song number 2 this week, The Less I Know the Better by Tame Impala, and it's off the album Currents. Tame Impala, again, not an artist I'm super familiar with. They're very like kind of alternative progressive rock, like I don't even know what you call them, almost like not EDM-y, but
okay.
Sort of, but that's kind of a shorter song in that album. A lot of the other songs in that album are pretty
So they
long.
got some funky sounds going on.
Yeah. Oh, The Less I Know, the Better, like opens up with this really like like this really funky bass riff.
I love a good bass line.
Yeah. I think you'd like that one.
All right, I'm gonna look that one up later.
All right, next we got Be Sweet by Japanese Breakfast off the album Jubilee. So Japanese Breakfast, I think they had, or I forget the artist's specific name, what her name is, but they've been kicking around a little bit. I think they didn't really hit, I would say, until the latest album. I think they've been on some of the bigger festivals and stuff this year that are going around. But Be Sweet, I mean, the whole album's good. Be Sweet's probably the main single off it. But that's got a nice little sort of catchy chorus to it and stuff. Then this is an older song, but I've just been stuck on it again because I was actually looking at potentially using some of their music for one of the newer videos I've got up after taking a bunch of video of in Vermont hiking.
Yep.
But this song's called Young Blood by the Naked and Famous, and the album's Passive Me, Aggressive You, which is like, I probably got this album when I was like 23 or 24, maybe a little bit later. But just good vibes. It has a lot of memories for me listening to it, but Young Blood's just a solid like pop rock song.
Nice.
Really solid. And lastly, we have The Takeover by Poppy Jean Crawford, and it's off the Takeover EP. So Poppy Jean Crawford, I actually saw open up for Placebo a couple months back with a friend of the podcast, Nate Hunt. And just another good sort of pop artist. This song's super catchy. I've actually used it in one of my hiking videos from Mount Willard. And she has an amazing voice. I saw them live, and I'll say they held up. They're awesome. Like, I think they have a very produced, clean sound, but having seen them live, her voice is that good. Like, what it sounds like on the recordings is exactly how she sounds. Like, she kind of, I think they did a couple quiet songs first, and then she did this song, and it blew me and Nate away. I'm like, these guys are fucking great.
That's always, like, so refreshing, dude, when, like, you actually, like, a band and then you hear them live and they sound almost identical.
And especially when it's the opposite, is like, I mean, they sounded so good that like I got home literally that night and was like looking up music by them. I was like, they actually don't, so that's their first EP I think they have out. They don't have a full album out yet. That's like a 4-song EP, the Takeover EP, and the Takeover's the main song off it, that I had heard them play live. But hopefully they keep doing some good music, because that shit's awesome. Their music video for the Takeover is really strange. Really? I'm not sure what the vibes are for that. I will say that, but if you want to go find that, it's probably worth watching.
I'll be honest, I'm not a huge music video guy.
Yeah. So the only reason I watched it is because the original single had that, and then it had the video included in like iTunes on Apple Music when you got it. So I was like, because I was like, why is this song playing twice? And I was like, oh, there's a video.
That's pretty cool.
So I ended up just watching it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that's your music minute.
Yeah, that's the first Nick's music minute, or Nick's music moment.
Music moment.
I already
messed it up.
I
already blew it.
So check those songs out. These are all sort of super poppy, catchy songs. I think most people would probably like them if you're into music at all. So check them out.
And back to your regularly scheduled program.
So I think for the main topic this week, I think we're going to have to talk about our vacations.
Yeah, let's talk vacations. Family vacations.
Family vacations 2023.
we do them together.
Yes.
Usually we do them together.
Yeah, the past few years.
Yeah, the past couple of years we haven't done them together, and that's okay. We've done other vacations together, so. But the summer vacation, at least for me, is usually the biggest trip I do of the year. Like last year,
you guys did almost the full week, right?
Yeah, we did. We just did Monday to Friday because we wanted to do. Well, we had the wedding the weekend before, and then we wanted to get back and be able to we were hoping that the house stuff would be done or close to done, so we could
reasonably.
Yeah, and it actually worked out nice because I had to get back and because my lawn got seeded at the house. So I had to get back and make sure I was getting watered properly. I set up sprinklers, literally. We're driving up to go to New Hampshire, and on my way there, I stopped by the house, set up these sprinklers on timers, so that way while we were gone.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, so they're just on timers.
Yeah, so the lawn's watering itself. I didn't spring for an irrigation system because I'm cheap.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. And I also have heard, I mean, not that I would never get one, but I've heard a lot of stories from different people when you don't blow out the pipes or something, and it seems like they're really cool, but it seems like sometimes they can offer a lot of headaches. Enough people use them, so obviously they're not that bad.
Yeah,
but I've heard some negative experiences,
and I'm sure they're not. But I got no problem going out and physically. Once I live in my house, physically watering my lawn. Or
that's what I do.
Whatever, put a sprinkler out and move it a couple times.
Yeah, I have a pretty big one that you just with a stake that you just stick in the ground. That thing hits a pretty good radius.
Anything to give me a reason to go outside I'm all for it.
Yeah,
because if I don't have a reason to go outside and you're just let's go for a walk, I'm I don't really want to go for a walk. If you're hey, let's go have a race down the block. All right, at least I have a purpose. I'm gonna try to win. Yeah. Let's go throw beanbags onto a board. All right, I could do that for a couple hours.
I can be engaged.
Yeah, that'll engage me.
All right, man. So we'll talk about your little trip first you had. So whereabouts did you go?
Yeah, so we went to Waterville Valley in New Hampshire, and it is for people with young families. If you got young children, even up to preteens and things like that, this is my favorite place to go on vacation because there's so much to do. And we've gone there. Have we gone there twice together or just once?
I think we just went once together. I've stayed around there a couple other times though.
So where we stay in Waterville Valley, there's a town square that has three restaurants. Did
we mention Waterville Valley is in New Hampshire?
Oh, it's in New Hampshire. Yeah. I think we did, but
I don't know, just in case.
If not, it's right off of 93. That's one of my other favorite things is you can just take 93 and it's an exit off of 93 and it's 15 minutes to get to where the resorts are and all that stuff. But we've been up there. This is probably our fourth time going up, but this is the first time. This is the first time we've gone in the summer. We've always gone in the winter previously because it's a ski mountain.
Yep. Yeah, and there's sledding and all sorts of stuff to do around in the winter too.
So, and that's the biggest draw for us is there's so much to do there, and you never even have to get in your car to do it. Mm-hmm. So we stayed in the Black Bear Lodge, and it was nice. It's like a condo style. It was a nice condo style room that people own the rooms and they just rent them out and then whatever. So, and slept 6, but it was just me, Melissa, and Jeremiah. And then, so within a 3-minute walk, you have that town square that I was describing before. So there's a grocery store. And so the condo has a little full kitchen. So there's a grocery store. You can cook all your meals if you wanted to. You can get all the groceries you need. There's 3 restaurants there, a pizza restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and then American food restaurant. There's an arcade. There's a shop for if when you're skiing and stuff like that, it has all the stuff that you need for hiking, skiing, all that stuff that they have going on up there. That's all right there. There's a bike rental place, so you can rent bikes, and then that's all surrounding this giant pond. And we weren't sure because we've always been in the winter and it's frozen, but we went there now in the summertime and it's a beach and it's a super nice. It's a super nice beach, super sandy, and the water was not rocky or anything like that. And then on that beach you can rent kayaks, canoes, pedal boats and stuff.
Is there any fee to get in the beach or anything? Is it just you just walk in if you're staying there?
Yeah, so that's the nice. Even if you're not staying there, you can just walk in there. and that's the nicest part about staying at Waterville is, so like I just mentioned, the bike shop that you can rent bikes from. So part of staying in Waterville, you get it's called a Freedom Pass, and so every day you get a free 1 hour bike rental if you want it.
Okay.
You get a free 1 hour rental of any of those boats that I just mentioned. So we did the paddle boat,
that's legit.
the pedal boats one day. So we pedal out and pedal the boat out to the middle of the pond and pedal around and see all the stuff. We saw a giant snapping turtle in the middle of the pond, dude. It was sweet. And it's like a beautiful view. I sent you a random picture of a mountain. I'm like, what's this mountain?
I was like, I need more context than that. It just looked like any mountain in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I just assumed that you're going to know.
It was wooded.
What mountain was it?
I have no idea.
Oh, man. So, yeah, and it's like super quiet. And then we got done doing that. And then we went swimming in the pond after that. And I got a story for that, but we'll get to that after I go through all this. But, so, and then right across so that's like the town square. And then there's like an ice skating rink and all that stuff, like I said. So for young family.
They have an ice skating rink in the summer, even?
Yeah, it's inside. It's like an inside,
cool.
inside ice skating rink.
That's neat.
So I don't know. Well, I don't know if they do skate. I can't ice skate, so I don't even pop in there. So
it could have been closed.
Yeah, it could have been closed. Who knows? Could be a swimming pool right now. But so, and then that's kind of all that encapsulated in that town square. So like I said, that's walking distance, ton to do with your family, and you don't even have to hop in, load up the car, or whatever. You just walk down. Like I said, 3-minute walk from where we were.
Super convenient.
Yeah. And you're in your own room. You can cook in your own room. You don't have to go search for food. Like, you don't have to drive 20 minutes to a grocery store, half an hour, 45 minutes to a grocery store. Everything's kind of right there. So if you don't want to leave, you don't have to leave, which is great. And then, so that's the town square. And then right across the street is a golf course. And we end up playing golf there one day, it's a little 9-hole course. Not the best, but it's nice to have.
Yep.
It's nice to have there. And then across from that, they had a disc golf course that we didn't even get to. We wanted to do it, but we never.
So is disc golf, is it just like Frisbee?
Yeah, it's Frisbee. It's like the same rules as golf. Like, it's a par 3. You have the different Frisbees that you throw, and then you try to get it into it's like I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a basket, but it has chains. Gotcha. To like...
Yeah, I've never played before.
So they had that. That's free. Like, you can rent you don't have to, with the Freedom Pass, you don't have to pay for the Frisbees or whatever. If you don't have them, they just give you like whatever 3 Frisbees.
Oh, cool.
And then, and then a little bit further down from that is the athletic club that has the giant indoor swimming pool.
Yeah, that's the one we had been to.
Yeah,
when we had gone with you guys.
So it has the giant indoor swimming pool and 2 giant indoor hot tubs and a sauna and a steam room. So that's super nice. And then the part that we didn't see from this place that you haven't seen yet is it has a giant outside pool with a basketball hoop. And I was dunking on Jeremiah in the pool.
Nice.
In your face. So that pool was super nice. It was like resort quality pool. And then like on the side of the pool was also a splash pad for like little kids that they can go run through the water and stuff like that. And so that's super nice. And then they have a rec center, and in the rec center there's like stuff that you can do every day. Like they do like a Build-A-Bear every morning. Like the kids can go and build a little bear or whatever. And then they have like open gym and stuff like that. That's all included. And then they did like a movie in the town square. They do that on Thursday nights. So it's like a
lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So having a young child, it's like, all right, the last thing I want to do on vacation is worry about what I'm going to do on vacation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So being able to go and just say, all right, I can literally just wake up and say, all right, I'm just going to mosey on down to the pool.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Like I'm going to
kind of play it by ear rather than like...
Exactly. Yeah. And then if the weather's shot, all right, well, okay, we can't do that today. We'll go in the arcade or we'll go in the inside pool. Like, so it's not like you're stuck with just a place that only has like one or 2 things to do. There's like so much to do. Oh, I didn't even say like they have you could do the chairlift ride up to the top of the mountain. Yep. Like that's free with the pass.
Tecumseh.
Yeah, Tecumseh.
It's one of the New Hampshire's great 4,000 footers.
Yeah. And then they tell you all the different hiking trails that are in the area. They tell you like how like if it's beginner, intermediate, expert, like
I know there's a ton, like there's some, I can't think of the name of it, but they just made some sort of big like loop hike. I don't know if it's called like the Waterville Skyline or something like that.
Yeah,
I think I just have Monroe Skyline in my head. But I know there's a ton of little hikes around there that I have not really checked out other than the bigger peaks.
And I was talking to like one of the guys, and it's like a town of 500 people.
Yeah, it's not that big.
Like it's tiny.
It's just all tourists most of the time.
Yeah, it's like stuck in between like these like what was it, Campton?
Yep.
And there's another one. Thornton. Yeah, Thornton. Mm-hmm. Campton and Thornton. So we really enjoy this place. So like if you do have young children, or you're just looking for somewhere where you don't have to really think about what you're gonna do, like it's a nice place to go. We love it. We woke up every morning, cooked breakfast, like hung out in the room. The hotel itself was super. I don't know if it's a hotel. I guess it's a lodge, Black Bear Lodge.
Yeah.
So the hotel itself had a pool and a hot tub and a sauna, and the pool was half inside, half outside. So you can.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, you could swim inside, and then there was like a little wall you just swim under, and you go outside. Cool. And then outside, it also had a hot tub, and they do that year round. Like even in the winter, they have the hot tub going.
Oh, that's neat.
They have like the heated. On the steps, so the steps don't get icy.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I thought that was really nice. But yeah, and everybody there is super friendly. There's just, like I said, there's so much to do, and you don't have to go searching for it. It's all right there. It's all right there, and it makes it easy. So you're not like stressing yourself out, loading up the car, driving all the way somewhere, find out that beach is full, and then you got to go drive somewhere else and figure it out. So it's nice, and that's why we made it like. It's easy. We can just say, all right, let's just go. Well, if we're not like this year, we weren't too sure what we wanted to do, so we ended up picking Waterville, and it worked out great. Because last year we did like Virginia Beach, we drove all the way down there, which was awesome. It's just it takes a lot more time,
especially and
money.
You drove straight through down there and then straight back, right?
Yeah. So and that was like, I think it was like $1,200 for the week. Like over here, that's like it really wasn't that expensive at all. So. It's nice to have all that stuff included. And then Lincoln is like half an hour away. So like Friday it rained. We drove into Lincoln, and we ended up going to the movie theater.
Yeah, the one right near Price Chopper.
Right next to Price Chopper. Yep. We went to the. I call it the Shops on the Creek, but I don't know what the name of that little thing is. Yeah, I know what you mean. Where One Love Brewery is. Yep. And we officially got a sticker on the wall at One Love Brewery.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that was cool. And then we just looked over, hung out there. Then went to the movie. We saw Elemental, and Jeremiah loved it. And then like we just had the best soft serve ice cream I've ever had in my entire life.
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, it was a maple soft serve ice cream, dude. The best soft serve ice cream. I don't know the name of the place. It's right next to the pizza place in Lincoln.
Yep.
But it was phenomenal soft serve. So we did that. Like I said, we did the paddle boats, we did golf, we did the splash pad, we did a ton of swimming, and we swam in the pond. And then I got sick. Because. So after we finished the boats, we went to the pond. We're swimming around. It's freezing cold, like freezing cold water.
Yeah, probably with all the rain and stuff they've had this year too, it's probably just not really warming up like it normally does.
Yeah. So, whatever. I'm just swimming, dunk under a few times or whatever. I drink a little bit of the water by mistake.
Yeah, and we want to clarify, not on purpose. Not
on purpose, definitely by mistake.
Yeah.
And literally the next day, they had to shut down the beach because it was contaminated. There was too much poop in the water too.
Yeah, and bacteria counts.
And I didn't know until the next day.
Probably geese and ducks, and it must not irrigate that well.
Yeah. So I didn't know until the next day.
And rainwater might affect that. I don't know. But sorry.
Yeah, that's what they said. It was like too much fecal matter or whatever.
Yeah.
So that night I got super sick, like on the toilet all night. And I'm like, because at dinner I had like, for some reason, an ungodly amount of Brussels sprouts. And I'm like, I think
That must be why I'm exploding.
Yeah, I was like, I think there's too many. I think I did too many Brussels sprouts.
That happens.
But Melissa had the Brussels sprouts too, and she didn't get sick.
Yeah.
But so like, I was like, oh man, and I really liked the restaurant. It was the one I told. So it was at it was called Owl's Nest, and then it was like in the middle of this golf course, and the restaurant itself was called Panorama, but Owl's Nest is like a little I don't know what you want to call it, like development that they got going on there. It's super nice. But yeah, that was the best. I told Melissa, besides your dad's breakfast, that is the best meal I've ever had in New Hampshire, was at this restaurant. And then Melissa said, well, to be fair, you could have had Nick's dad's breakfast in Rhode Island too. So
that's very true. It wasn't limited to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
It was just always lots of smoked meats that you'd take up and stuff.
Yeah. So besides that, like, because I had it was crispy duck. Ooh, it was so good.
Sounds good.
With like it was like a blackberry compote that they put on it.
Ooh.
It was so good. And then too many Brussels sprouts. So many Brussels sprouts. But yeah, so it was a great trip. We had a lot of fun. It was relaxing. Like, the nice part is you don't get great service up there either. So it was like I didn't have to look at my phone. I didn't check my phone like basically barely any of the time that we were there, and we just got to enjoy each other's company and just kind of chill out and relax. So it was a great trip. Highly recommend it. It's not very expensive. Like, take your family up there, enjoy it. Give it a chance. It's beautiful. It's it's literally a valley. You're just surrounded by mountains on each side. Turn off you rookie. You're an absolute rookie.
No, that's my because it's trash day tomorrow, and it's a Wednesday tonight. So we have always put out our trash on Wednesday night, and I forgot so many times that I have an alarm. So that alarm in the background you heard was just my trash.
You got a trash alarm.
See, and now I'm gonna forget when we finish the podcast.
I'm gonna remind you. I'm gonna remind you on the way out the door.
Yeah.
You got a trash alarm. You are trash. You know that. But that's basically it for my trip. So we definitely missed you guys, but I mean, we'll get out again. Yeah, we'll get out again. So tell me a little bit about Vermont.
Yeah, so we ended up going up to Warren, Vermont. Had a house that was right around the Sugarbush ski area.
Yeah.
There's all a bunch of houses and condo developments and stuff around there. But it was pretty like where our house was, it's not like we were surrounded by there's other houses, but it was pretty private and secluded. And luckily that area of Vermont, like we kind of were watching the forecast the whole week before, because they were forecast to get a bunch more rain Thursday, Friday and stuff.
They had just had flooding the week before that.
Yeah. Certain areas, mostly to the northeast and then south of where we were. But Warren, Vermont, they were saying, I guess a lot of more of the mountain towns, like even where our house was around 2,000 feet, which again for the East Coast is pretty high up. Colorado or something like that, not very high up. But most of the mountain towns kind of made up okay, because most of the water drains downhill, unfortunately, into the valleys and by the rivers, where a lot of those towns like Montpelier and stuff that were right on the rivers really got hammered.
Yeah.
So kind of luckily, at least for our vacationing, Warren, Vermont was perfectly fine. Like all the infrastructure, they weren't really affected. You could tell some areas at 100 where the river, it's basically, they actually call that Mad River Valley, which I think there's a Mad River around Waterville Valley too.
Yeah, but it's just it's mad.
Yeah,
I actually went. Yeah. I have that reminds me. I have a pound of coffee for you.
Oh baby, yeah, from that great coffee place.
Besides Coastal Roasters, that is my favorite.
They do have good coffee and food.
They're like hand in hand to me. Like, and I will wait in line like 45 minutes to get like a breakfast sandwich and some coffee from them, because it's so good.
They have good stuff.
It's so good. We went there on our way out. Like we went there.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, it's all good. But yeah, it's kind of west of the Mad River, but the Mad River Valley and that whole area.
Yeah.
So you could tell some areas it looked like on 100 where there definitely was dirt and rocks like pushed up. And on the way we went to I'm already forgetting the name of the brewery. But on the way up we went by a brewery, and it was in Northfields. And let me look up the name of the brewery really quick. Good Measure Brewing Co. in Northfield.
Good Measure.
But anyways, what I was going to get back to, went to Good Measure in Northfield. You could tell like we were on Main Street over there. And it was definitely washed out. Like part of it was fully, like half the road was completely washed out.
Really?
Like you could tell they had bulldozers and stuff on the side of the road. But yeah, at first me and my mom and Ash were like, oh, maybe they're doing construction or something over there. But it was clear that part of the road had just literally, the tarmac had literally just washed downhill.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot. Like the last time we vacationed together when we went to Vermont, the same thing. Like their road, some of their roads got washed out because of that heavy
Yeah,
rain
when
that
we were
got.
up, when we were up in 2021, they had a pretty bad rainstorm. And actually, so that area, I think we were more like southern New Hampshire, like east of like where Peru is. I forget the exact name of the town because all like the New England towns are freaking called like the same thing. I think Londonderry we were around, and Londonderry got like
Londonderry, Vermont.
Yeah, I think that's around where we stayed, but I
think that's where we stayed last time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think they got like destroyed though
this
up there.
time.
And to be fair, I would say like they had mostly like dirt roads like everywhere. Like they didn't have much, but I think that area of Vermont was one of the ones that got hit really hard too. But yeah, anyways, we had a smooth ride up there. Just hit that place on the way up. Kind of loaded in. And the weather ended up being a lot better that week than it was kind of forecasted to be. It kind of looked stormy and unsettled, but I want to say so the house itself was like a super crazy kind of contemporary house.
I love
it was absolutely beautiful. Like I just sat around and took some pictures of it and stuff. The living room had like 3 floors of like window, like part of the wall was just entirely glass windows.
See, I love like that contemporary, like modern, like style.
Yeah, they call it like postmodern or whatever, but it was very, very angular. Tons of windows like everywhere.
Yeah.
We had guessed that the house must have been from like the 90s. Like it wasn't like super new. You could tell like I would guess like someone just bought it.
Yeah.
And the previous owners sold it.
But yeah, they ACs.
Yeah, and they had central air, which was nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it was kind of warmer at the beginning of the week, but I mean, it kind of cooled off as the week went on.
Yeah,
wasn't super warm. But yeah, like 3 floors. There was like a main floor, and then a second floor, and a third floor, and then a garage. So actually, I guess 4 floors technically.
Nice.
But had a pool in the backyard, which was heated, which was really cool.
Yeah,
had some views of the mountains and stuff. So that was nice. We took Rylan in the water a few times, so it was kind of nice just to have a pool to literally jump in the backyard, like if you just wanted to kind of jump in and stuff, which was like freaking awesome. So that was really nice.
How'd she do in the water?
She did pretty well. We kind of just were letting her play around sort of on the stairs where you walk in.
Yeah.
And then I was just taking her around and kind of floating. We got a float for her, and Ash tried to put her in it, and like she just wasn't having it.
No.
I think she just didn't.
She just wants to get held all the time.
Probably. But I think because the float was unsteady and stuff, she just didn't like it a lot. So I think she felt like she was gonna fall in. Probably because she might have fallen in.
By the time you go back on summer vacation next year, she's gonna be good to go.
Yeah,
but then it's gonna be a little more dangerous because she's probably gonna be moving. Yeah. At that point,
she'll actually be like trying to jump in the pool and do stuff like that, and we'll be like making sure she's not getting into trouble.
The baby gates are gonna need to come up with you. Yeah.
So we debated bringing baby gates, but like we would have had to bring like 4.
Yeah.
And we were able to just block sort of the floors with furniture where the stairs, because there was almost like open stairs like there was at that house we rented with you guys in 2020.
Remember that? Remember, I actually left in 2020.
Yeah,
I
you
drove
went out to
all
get
the way
baby
up to a Walmart that was like 45 minutes away to go get baby gates.
Yeah, because we stayed at that like place by the Pemigewasset River near Loon, and like they just had open stairs that you could definitely clearly like a child could crawl through. That house was a little bit more treacherous though, I think, where the stairs were. It wasn't as like, this had like a nice little stair section. We just literally we would put her in the living room, like block it with chairs and stuff and coolers, and she was cool. So that was good. But yeah, we got there, smooth ride up and everything. That whole neighborhood, I ended up Sunday morning, I ended up just going for a walk and walked around. It was kind of hazy and rainy, but there was a golf course that I didn't end up getting to play at because I decided to hike a few days instead. And then on Friday it was closed, but there was a really nice looking golf course, full 18 holes around there. It looked absolutely beautiful, super green and lush with all the rain they've had, kind of on the side of the mountain.
That stinks that they were closed though.
Yeah, I know, it was kind of lame. But
be better, Vermont.
It is with that. It is what it is with that Friday. Like there was a bad thunderstorm. I went to go, and to be fair, on the nicest days, like we definitely went hiking. So that's just what happens.
That's what you do.
That's what we do. Yeah. But yeah, I think Sunday ended up just walking around. We ended up checking out Lawson's Finest Liquids, which was like maybe 10 minutes away. They make really good beer.
Yeah.
Got a little sign from there that's now on the wall and stuff.
I like that sign.
Yeah, and they had good food too. We got like a little like cheese plate and stuff, and then I think we got like hummus that was like homemade. That was all really good. And they actually had wine and other stuff on tap, other than actual beer. They had
wine on tap?
Like basically, like they had local wineries.
Oh,
I think there were some from not local to there, but like the Champlain Valley and stuff. So they definitely had some different wines and everything. Cool. And it was nice too in that little town area. They had Shaw's and stuff. So it's kind of nice to like be like, we were definitely in the woods and very secluded, quiet area, but like we were pretty close to a supermarket and stuff, which is nice because we ended up doing a bunch of cooking and stuff. We went out a few times, but we primarily cooked. It was us, Rylan, my aunt and uncle, and then my mom came. So between a couple of us, yeah, we ended up making dinner some nights and some breakfast and stuff. So that's
fun.
Always
nice when you can like kind of have a grocery store nearby and just pop in, get what you need, and do some cooking and save some money.
Yeah, and there was like a little coffee shop over there that we ended up getting some beans from and stuff.
Nice. Did you do cold brew?
I think Ash did the cold brew. I actually didn't get coffee when we went there because I had already had coffee, and I'm like a 1 a day kind of coffee guy. Mm-hmm. Ash is like a
any time of day,
2 to 5.
If coffee's available.
She just really like she's a coffee enthusiast for sure.
Good.
Yeah,
coffee's delicious.
Yeah, and so let's see. So that was Sunday. Monday we were watching the weather. It looked like super nice, and me and Ash had 2 Vermont 4,000 footers. I think I mentioned on the last podcast remaining, Ellen and Abraham, and was looking at sort of different ways to do them. The weather looked good, and we wanted to do a pretty long hike day together. We haven't been out together alone like hiking since January of 2022, right when she was first pregnant in the Adirondacks.
Yeah.
So it'd been a hot minute since we had been out together, just kind of alone hiking and stuff.
Nice.
And we decided to do a section of the long trail that goes across those 2 peaks, but it's called the Monroe Skyline.
Yep.
And it's supposed to be one of the nicest sections of the long trail. And we had my aunt and uncle basically drop us off on the northbound side, and we dropped our car at the southbound side. Kind of always prefer doing those traverses because you don't have to like double back on yourself or see the same trail. Like the whole thing's fresh the entire time.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing it that way because there was a couple sections. They weren't, I wouldn't say they were incredibly treacherous, but they actually had like rebar and like metal basically drilled into rocks, like as sort of ladders to help you get up. And I kind of figured it'd be better to do that on the way up while we were like fresh and energized rather than
the way back.
Yeah, rather than going down. We might have done more elevation gain, I think, than the book and the guides I had read mentioned because of doing it that direction. And even most people, when they're doing the long trail, go south to north, or doing. And I think that section's actually part of the Appalachian Trail as well. But we ended up hitting that north to south. There was Canadian wildfire haze, which kind of sucked and blew in as the day went on.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that still, like, those wildfires are still happening?
They're still happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just because we're not getting the smoke right now doesn't mean they're not. But yeah, they're definitely still going fresh up there.
Yeah, Melissa said the same thing when we were in New Hampshire. She asked if because it was a little hazy, and I'm like, I don't know.
It probably was if it was like Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, Monday, like, because even we started early in the morning, and it wasn't too bad. And then as the day went on, it just got hazier and hazier.
Yeah.
And yeah, but besides that, I mean, the weather was super nice. It was dry and breezy. Like, it wasn't super hot or anything. It was probably like 60s and 70s once we got up on the ridge line.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Even though, like, so Mount Ellen was not the first mountain we hit, but the first 4,000 footer. And, like, that was totally wooded. But even along the way, like, I want to say probably 20 to 30 minutes in hiking, we already were on the top of the Mad River Glen ski area that's over there.
Yeah.
And, like, already had views out to, you pretty much brings you out to the top of the chairlifts, like a couple where the long trail was.
Nice.
So we had views pretty early on, had some scrambles and stuff to sort of deal with getting up on the ridgeline, but really moderate hike, like, compared to a lot of New Hampshire mountains and stuff. I don't think there was anything too crazy. And the trail wasn't too wet either, considering how much rain they had. I kind of was curious how wet it'd be. But
how long was the total hike?
It was 11.6 miles.
Yep.
And it was supposed to be about 2,400, 2,500 feet. I ended up getting close to 3,000 feet, which wasn't that crazy compared to like the trail I maintain. It takes 3,250 feet just to get up to it, and less mileage for steepness variance. So it wasn't that difficult. But definitely just a long day when you're hiking almost 12 miles, like in wet, slippery trail pretty much all day. Like it definitely is tiring.
So would it take you like 4 hours or so?
Oh no, it took us, I mean, I was filming video too, but I think the book time on it was 7 or 8 hours. And it took us about 9 hours.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So it was
me knowing nothing about time.
It was a pretty long day. I mean, we definitely took our time. Like, I want to say, so we hit right around where there was viewpoints all along the way, but we hit Mount Ellen, which is wooded at the summit. But again, there was a top, I don't know if it was Sugarbush or Mad River Glen, but there was another big open ski area. And it was really pretty. Like, a lot of the ways there was just open fields of grass and wildflowers and butterflies. Tons of monarchs, like, everywhere. Every time we tried to get a picture of one too, I swear they just like flutter away, drift away.
You almost got me.
But hazy, but really cool views. And it was kind of cool because the entire way we could look back on the ridgeline that we were kind of coming up. So hit Ellen, kind of went in between a few other peaks, then eventually come up to Lincoln Peak, which is sort of the top of Sugarbush. And then Abraham's sort of behind that.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know, 4 or 5 peaks in between, but just views the whole way. We chilled. Abraham was super hazy, but we probably chilled up there for like 45 minutes or so and just hung out. So we definitely could have done it faster, but like we weren't in a rush.
Yeah, just chilling.
Yeah.
First time you guys have hiked together in a long time.
Yeah.
Very rare that you get 9 hours with just you and your wife.
Yeah, we enjoyed Meme. Meme was happy that day. She was watching Rylan.
Bet.
So everybody was, and my aunt and uncle too, for that matter, were happy. So
I bet.
Yeah, we get out together. I think Tuesday we sort of just really ended up chilling out. We ended up going to, my uncle wanted to check out Von Trapp brewery,
yep.
which I mean, their beer's pretty popular.
Yeah,
You see them
I've heard
around
of
a
them,
lot.
yeah.
So we went to Von Trapp. Again, just sort of hung out all day. Didn't really do too much. And Wednesday, we ended up wanting to take Rylan for a little hike. So we actually went south of where we had ended on Monday on the long trail. And this was a great, like, for anybody out there staying there, if you have really little kids, like our daughter who literally was on my back, like, or even Jeremiah's age for that matter. It was called Sunset Ledge, but it basically was on south of Lincoln Gap on the long trail where we'd finished. We'd started that day in Appalachian Gap, then finished in Lincoln Gap, going over the Monroe skyline, and then went back up to Lincoln Gap, and then hiked south for maybe like a mile, and there's like a beautiful ledge that faces west, hence Sunset Ledge.
Nice.
And took Rylan up there. It was maybe a mile round trip, or 2 miles round trip, 1 mile one way.
Yeah, that's not
like
bad.
500 feet, and chilled up there. It was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it's.
We just hung out, and the weather had finally broke. It wasn't humid or anything. It was just a beautiful day. You could see Lake Champlain finally. You could see the top of Abraham where we came, which was kind of neat to look back out on.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Thursday looked super nice. So I ended up getting up early in the morning so I could be back and not be like gone all day. But I ended up doing Camel's Hump, which is another 4,000 footer in Vermont that I had done back when we stayed together in 2021 with my cousin Sarah Beth and her husband Jay, and did it from a different direction. Beautiful views. Like I had done a very short hike, short and steep. Actually almost as much elevation as we did the previous day, probably. I think it was like 2,300, 2,400 feet. But again, not really that bad for that type of hike, like really good footing and stuff like that. A lot of people doing trail maintenance, but amazing views. Like I could see Moose Lock in New Hampshire. You could see New Hampshire peaks across. Like there were clouds floating in and out, but I could see that. Could see Mount Mansfield, which is one of the 4,000 footers Vermont to the north. Could see the entire ridgeline we went across to the south. Was cool.
That's pretty
kind of
cool.
right in between. Then to the east, to the west rather, could see Lake Champlain, and you could actually see some of the Adirondacks out there. You could see, you could see most of them. I should say most of the high peaks out there. But you could see like Whiteface, which I had done last summer, and Esther. You could see Mount Marcy and some of the other bigger peaks, kind of through the clouds, and all of Lake Champlain. Like it was just really beautiful.
Did you videotape these?
Yeah, nice. I took a bunch. Yeah, the Monroe Skyline one I just released today. Almost had a music situation again, but YouTube was fine with it. But got that one up, and yeah, we took some video on Wednesday, and Thursday at Camel's Hump ended up taking a bunch of video that day of that, and took a bunch of pictures and stuff. I got to go back through, but it was just beautiful up there. I actually stayed. I didn't realize how long it was, but I actually was on the summit for like over 2 hours after I got up there.
On Camel's Hump?
Yeah, on Camel's Hump. Yeah, over 2 hours. Well, I wanted to get some time by myself up there too to just do some video, but it was just beautiful up there, and I ended up getting the summit. It was still pretty early in the morning. I think it was around 9 o'clock when I got up there.
Nice.
Kind of hustled up, but yeah, I just had it to myself and just me and a bunch of bugs, pretty much fluttering around, some birds and stuff for like half an hour, just sitting up there chilling.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, and went back down, kind of hung out. I think we grabbed food at like a pizza place that night. That was pretty good. Yeah, back around Warren. And Friday kind of just rounded things out. Ended up going for a walk with like Ash and stuff. And kind of around, it was cool. Like there was a place called Paradise Provisions that was right in the Sugarbush area. That was like, I don't know, like it was like a 20-30 minute walk or like 5-minute drive from where we were. Yeah. But they had really good like sandwiches, prepared food, and coffee. Ash got another coffee there. That was also approved.
And prepared foods, dude. She loves prepared foods.
She does love prepared foods.
No matter what she says, she loves a good prepared food.
But they had just kind of anything you'd probably need on vacation if you didn't want to go to that Shaw's. It's kind of a shame we went there that later in the week because I think we would have checked it out probably earlier. Just it was cool with the food and everything. Yeah. We ended up going next. My mom wanted to go for a little hike and get out of the house too, or a walker, I should say, but we ended up finding a loop around, I think it was just called Kingsbury Reservoir in Warren. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. It was right off the Mad River, and walked around. It was like a really mellow, just walk around sort of a pond reservoir area with like tons of wildflowers. Nice. And stuff. And my mom enjoyed it. She almost trips going across a water crossing, but I got her. But it was like a half inch of water, so we were all good. We got too wet. Just got some wet feet.
That's all right.
It's all good.
Couple wet toes ain't too bad.
So yeah, we had a ton of fun. I think that kind of rounded out the week. We had a lot of good food. Went out a few times, cooked a bunch.
Very different, very contrast.
Yeah,
big contrast between your vacation, my vacation. Yeah. Nick, I want to explore this entire region. Josh, I don't want to have to get in my car once. I want to stay right where I am. To be fair,
I don't think I drove more than 40 minutes. But it was a beautiful, beautiful area, that area of Vermont. I feel like I've never really stayed in the more mountainous areas. Like I've stayed around Stowe and stuff, which is almost kind of a valley with mountains around you.
Yeah.
But this was like we were right in the mountains, so it was beautiful. And I should say Friday, I tried to golf actually in the morning. But yeah, the course was closed even though it ended up being sunny most of the day. It did thunder once, but I'm convinced that they just didn't think they'd have that many people. And, I mean, I can't blame them.
What if you just walked on? What if you just walked on with balls?
I don't know. I don't want to. I feel like this is the kind of a place we're going to go back there. I don't want to do that. I don't need like my poster on the wall and be like, have you seen this man on the course? Have you seen this man on 5? Yeah, like legitimately like the 5th and 6th hole were like across the street from where we were.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. Oh, and probably one of the more exciting things was we were like eating dinner. I think it was on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Or it was on Monday night. And mama bear with 3 cubs just walks through the backyard.
That's
just
awesome.
Perusing the backyard, just looking for probably, I'm imagining, berries and whatever vegetation they eat.
You got to post that video on the
I'll have to throw that up.
On the PUDs
Ash, my wife got a good video of that. But yeah, it was super cool. They weren't fazed by us at all. Like we were talking and just hanging out and eating, and like they were like just giving us no bother at all.
I was so pumped when you showed me that video. I'm like, those are bears, and they're like not that far away from you.
they were like literally from where I was sitting, like to the wall from us, which is maybe, I don't know, like 10 yards. 15 yards. Like it was pretty,
so
not
wild.
50. Yeah, I'd say maybe 10 yards.
It's good that they didn't try to do any bear things to you.
Yeah.
That's also nice that they just did like Yogi the Bear things and just waddled back into the woods.
And the only other story I had, which was a throwback to when I was on vacation with you in 2020, so I lost my ring back in Mirror Lake in Lincoln in 2020, and Josh found it for me because he's just an amazing person.
Dude,
he found it on a sandy bottom. I don't know how long we were looking. It had
at
to be
least 2 or 3 hours.
At least 2 or 3 hours. But I've my wedding ring has been loose for years because I had dropped some weight and it's just bent out of shape from hiking it with it and shit. And we were playing football, or I should say catch with a football because we were playing football. But yeah, the spiral when I called the ball one time and he threw it just ripped my ring off. Like it just was like, whoong, and like I never thought I was getting that thing back then. So anyways,
I searched for hours.
Yeah, he searched for it. He got it back. So Ash decides, I believe it was on Thursday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday, but she's like, oh, we should race in the pool because I think I'm faster than you. So I was like, all right. She had like a margarita. She was all fired up. She wanted to race.
Nothing like a margarita pool race.
Yeah. So we ended up hopping in. Like we did one lap, and we're like, oh, we should do back and forth because that'll be like a real determiner because we were like really close.
Yeah.
So I think she did beat me to her credit. But when I went to go touch the wooden board coming back after my sort of back lap across the pool, my wedding ring's gone. And I'm like, oh shit, it happened again. I need to call Josh because I don't know where it went.
I would have rode up.
Yeah. So I was just like, so we were all just like, oh shit. And it was funny because I was literally telling my aunt that morning, or maybe even a couple hours before in the afternoon, that about the whole story about when I lost my wedding ring. And she's like, oh, have you gotten it retightened yet? And I'm like, no. I'm like, and like, so I lost it. Like it was foreshadowing to a T. And luckily we looked at the pool and stuff, couldn't find it on the bottom. So I was pretty sure by that point that it wasn't on the bottom because it was sunny, so it definitely would have been reflective, and it was just at the bottom of a normal pool.
Yeah.
And Ash walked out and saw it was under like basically a bench on the decking. How
it got there, who knows?
Yeah, so it flung. I think it just flung off my finger and wedged off. I got it back. So I do need to make an appointment at Providence Diamond Co. to probably have my ring resized once and for all before it's gone forever. Because this thing, the fact that it's been found in 2 ridiculous situations, it's not like it dropped on the floor in the house. Like we're outside in an 8-foot pool
and popped off,
surrounded by woods, and it came back. It was just on the decking.
It's funny that happened because Melissa and I were eating at a restaurant, and I was just looking up the area around it, and I was like, oh, we're not too far from Mirror Lake where your ring popped off the first time. And she was like, oh, do you remember that?
And like the whole community there was like helping look for the ring because everybody was just day drinking, and being like, oh, we're gonna help out these people.
We're gonna find this guy's ring.
I was like, you people need to chill out. Yeah. Like Josh can look for it. We got it.
And I loved it because You know me. I love being in the water and swimming, and it gave me such a reason to be in the
water.
It
gave you purpose.
It gave me purpose to be in the water. So I was like, I'm not giving up. I don't want to get out of here. So might as well look for this guy's ring while I'm in here.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's why I have the rubber ring, dude.
Yeah, I should. Number one, I should take that on vacation with me when we go, and number two, I should get my actual ring resized.
And for me, it's like I do too much stuff with my hands, so it's like. If I had a ring that cost was expensive or whatever, like if I would have lost it or if like I nick it or like soil it in some way, like I'll be physically sick. Like I'd be so upset. So the rubber ring is like, it's nice, dude. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays on. Like I can work out with it. I can do whatever with it. And if I lose it, all right, I only lost like $30. Like I just get another one. That's fine.
Yeah, I should use ours and not use mine anymore probably as much when I go outside and do stuff. But usually it's not an issue. It's not like it falls off
just
all the time or anything.
Yeah, just get it tightened.
It's not super tight, but I wouldn't say it's definitely loose. Like if my hand's super cold or like you're in the water, all slippery.
Yeah, get slippery in there.
The chlorine gets you all slippery. But anyway, anywho, those are kind of the two funnier stories we had. And then Saturday we rolled back. We ended up grabbing some breakfast sandwiches at that Paradise Provision stuff that were just really good.
Nice.
Ended up rolling on home.
Nice.
And that was it. But it was super relaxing trip. We had sort of our own floor with my mom, and Rylan had her own bedroom, and we had our own room right next to it. So it was kind of nice. She was right there. We didn't really have to use the monitor as much at night or anything.
That is nice.
And she slept pretty well. Like we both caught up on some sleep for sure. Yeah. Like I've never slept so much on a vacation. Like we were in bed like 9-10 o'clock most nights and woke up at like 6:37 like every day. So
you're getting in the groove, dude. You're getting in the daddy groove.
It was good
because once you can get in that groove where the kid's gonna like, you can put the kid to bed at like 8 or 9 or whatever, and then you can go to bed and then not getting up till like 6.
Yeah, dude,
that's like
it was good. Yeah, like even the day I did Camel's Hump, I was like on Thursday, I'm like, I'm not gonna set an alarm, and like I just was up at like woke up perfectly at like 5:45, and I'm like I'm just gonna go now because I was back by like 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
it was great.
There's nothing better than waking up without.
Yeah, and I already feel like I did so much. It was funny though. I brought a Summit beer with me on Camel's Hump, and I just wasn't thinking how early it was, and I was like, whatever.
8:15.
It's vacation.
No big deal.
It's vacation. It's 12 o'clock somewhere. I was thirsty. I'm like, I've been awake since 5:30.
I earned this.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's good, man. And we cool. like I said, we vacationed together a few times, and I'll always say it's always the more people you have on vacation with you. Not that it gets harder to vacation, but it's like, especially like I know you and I know me. Like you want everybody to enjoy their vacation the best.
Absolutely.
So it's tough,
especially when you're the one renting the house or whatever too, and looking at spots like usually we are.
Yeah, and it's tough to like meet everybody's ideals of what a vacation is and like what it means to vacation. Like I just said, the way that you vacationed and the way that I vacationed are very different. I'm fine doing anything on vacation, but I'm also very fine doing nothing on vacation. So it's
both these locations too. Like we're in Warren, Vermont, near Sugarbush, just again in case anybody missed it. But I'd recommend it for like if you have a good house up there. Like there was a ton of stuff to do. There was a disc golf course and other things too that we didn't even check out. There was a whole bunch of stuff around the resort itself.
Nice.
That we didn't end up like we had a pool, so there wasn't really much reason to explore. There was like we actually went to waterfalls on Friday too, but there were all swimming holes and stuff at Warren Falls down there. But really close to hiking and stuff, really close to stores, so it's kind of good. I mean, between either flavor of vacation, like if you just want to chill out and not drive too very far, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to go hiking and stuff, there was a ton of stuff, including one of the nicest parts of the Long Trail.
Yeah.
Not that far away. Like we were 10 minutes from one trailhead and 20 minutes from another, and I was maybe 40 minthat's from Camel's Hump.
It's going to be key, like, as now that Ryland's going to be getting older, like, next summer or summer after that. Like, that's where it gets a little, like, especially if she's not into, like, hiking.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, all right, how do I keep this kid entertained for this week?
Yep.
And, like, so that's, like, a lot of how we base our vacations now is, like, all right, how can I keep Jeremiah entertained for most of the day and still enjoy myself and be able to feel like I'm on vacation. I'm not just like carting this kid around to do whatever he wants to do. And like, so that's a balance. You're gonna see it soon, but that's gonna be the balance that you're gonna have to figure out at some point. And I mean, I know you'll be able to do it, and I'm sure she's gonna love.
We'll see.
Their passion is whatever your passion is, right?
We'll see. So far, so good. She was pretty good on Wednesday, and even Friday she was really good.
Yeah, she does good on hikes, dude.
Yeah, I think as long as we're moving around, she was a little bit. I think if anything, on Wednesday there was like a golden retriever out there that she wanted to pet, so like. We couldn't let her out because it was like a ledge with like a couple 100 feet drop. Yeah. Actually, we ended up taking her out and we held her a little bit and stuff. But yeah, I think she wanted to pet this golden retriever and she was in the pack and was like pissed. Like she was so like looking at us like, like looking back, looking at the dog, looking at us, being like,
Oh, Riley.
She just wants to pet the puppy, man.
One day.
Yeah.
One day.
Cool.
All right, man. Let's get into the descent.
Yeah, let's do it. You got any shout outs for anybody this week?
My boy Wilkie, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Friend of the podcast, Wilkie.
Yeah.
He hit me up on Instagram. He sent me a message on Instagram a few weeks ago because he was listening to one of the episodes and I said that I had finished one of my animes that I was watching. And
he's a fellow anime enthusiast.
And he recommended this anime Black Clover to me. I just started watching it. I'm locked in, dude. Yeah. I am hooked. So Wilkie, friend of the podcast, Wilkie.
Friend of the podcast, Wilkie.
Oh, man. Thank you so much because I'm in there. I'm in there. I love that. I love that. I'm like 40 episodes in already, and I started it like 2 days ago.
Are they short episodes?
They're like, they're like 20 minutes or so, whatever. Okay. Once you get through like, because all animes have like this giant like intro, like that takes like a minute and a half to get through. So once you skip that, and they do the same thing at the end,
kind of cruise through.
Yeah, I kind of blow right through them. Cool. So yeah, that's so anybody that's looking for a good anime. Black Clover is one of them. And then the other thing I wanted to say, Jeremiah told me I had to tell this story on the podcast. Okay. Jeremiah is a big fan of the podcast. I don't know if you know.
He doesn't have a choice.
He loves the pod. He is now pretending, like when he's playing pretend, he's pretending like he's doing a podcast sometimes.
That's fantastic.
It's so funny, dude. But so we get back obviously from vacation. He goes back to school on Monday. And Melissa goes to pick him up from school, and he's like sitting down at a table, and he's playing with a toy or whatever. And the teacher's like, "Oh, Jeremiah, your mom's here." And then he just looks at her. He goes, "My dad drives with no pants on." And the teacher's
Jesus.
The teacher's like, "What?" And he's like, "My dad drives with no pants on." And then she's like, "What are you talking about?" And then he picks up the toy, and it's like he's playing with some type of like figure, but the guy has no pants on. He's like, "See,
gotcha.
My dad drives with no pants on. He's driving the car, and he's got no pants on." So she tells Melissa that story, and she was like, "I was a little concerned for a second," and then Melissa was like, "I can assure you, Josh drives with pants on." Yeah. So for anybody out there wondering, if Jeremiah's teacher's listening, I drive with pants on.
Yes, he drives with pants on.
I drive with pants on. I do most things with pants on, to be honest with you.
A general rule of thumb, if you're out in the public space, is to do things with pants on. I know we live in some pretty interesting times right now, but I'd say pants on, normally a good thing.
I'm a fan of pants.
Yeah, I like pants.
I'm a pants fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jeremiah told me I had to tell that story, so that's for you, buddy.
Dude, that's too funny. I don't know if we got much else. I was gonna shout out to like just random people on YouTube that we've been watching lately, because we just kind of get in funks where we watch like more non-fictional informational stuff as opposed to like watching a show or whatever. But there's this guy, it's like Minty Comedic Arts on YouTube, but he goes through just movies and random things, but he does like top 10 like unknown facts.
Yeah. I love videos.
Dude, like we watched they had some good ones recently. They had Cool Runnings on there, which was really good, which I didn't realize was John Candy's last movie.
Either. Before he died, yeah.
Yeah, and
Sanka,
all interesting,
you dead man.
Yeah, all interesting stuff about that. They had the Mighty Ducks on there recently too, so
love that movie.
Yeah, we'll watch those, and they're like 30-40 minute episodes.
It's like unknown facts about those movies.
Yeah, Yeah, just
Okay.
top 10 sort of things you didn't know about these movies. And he also does ones like Blockbuster. Like it's definitely a lot of retro like 80s, 90s stuff. But
I'm into it.
yeah, but it's definitely
What's it called? Minty what?
Minty Comedic Arts.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out. Our boy Minty. But yeah, he's always entertaining us a couple nights
Friend
a
of
week.
the pod, Minty.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're just kind of one of those people that like sort of random facts about movies, like Ash is a super movie nerd, and I definitely enjoy watching that stuff too. So yeah, we'll just check that out. Yeah, it's good.
Nice. That's that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's that. I've been at war with the deer a little bit outside. I've seen a deer every day in our yard since we've left. I think because we weren't around for like a week, and I've got all the tomatoes and kind of a garden out there. They haven't touched anything while we were gone, which I was amazed.
They're just daring you?
I went crazy with deer repellent. I did see a mother and a doe the other day, which was adorable.
Yeah.
So, little guy.
I'll call my cousin. He'll be over here with his bow, dude, in no time.
No,
take care of them deer.
I'm torn on the deer.
A little torn.
I just don't want them to eat anything in my yard.
It's a love-hate relationship.
They are majestic animals. They also carry deer ticks, so that's not fantastic.
No good.
But we spray for that, so it's all good. But yeah, man, I think that's really about it.
All right.
Just the PUDs-cation episode, as it was.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Find us on social media at PUDs Podcast.
We're looking on Apple Podcasts too. I think we got like a 5-star review, but if some of you are on any of the podcast platforms, I haven't looked at Spotify and what our review are.
Yeah, we have. I think we have three 5-star reviews on there.
But yeah, hit us up with some reviews. It really helps us with a lot of the algorithms when they're kind of recommending our podcast to people. And write us a review. Like if you can take the time to write like a sentence or two, be like, even if. Don't write anything negative. If you have any complaints, just send it to our Outlook email address. It's also available there. We're talking just positive things. We don't want to hear about people's concerns. You can email Josh. You can email me directly, and we'll talk to you.
If you got something good to say, put it on there.
If you got something good to say.
If you got something bad to say, keep it to yourself.
There we go. Keep
it to yourself.
But yeah, if you can, leave us a little review ski, or just write a couple of words about what you think about the podcast. That'd be great. I know there's a lot of you out there that are regular listeners because we can see the stats.
It's nice to see. We're picking up a lot of steam.
We had, what do you say? We had a listener in Brazil?
Yeah, that's listened to like a few. So whoever's listening to Brazil, listen. Yeah. We appreciate it.
We really do. Tell your
it.
friends about us.
Yeah. Let us know if you speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
Because we're big Portuguese culture over here. We're into it.
Yeah. Yeah, different type of Portuguese, but...
Brazilian Portuguese.
Yeah. I think actually Brazilian Portuguese is the more formal type of Portuguese versus probably what people are speaking in New Bedford.
Probably.
Don't come at me, people.
I'd love to go to Brazil.
Yeah.
I'd love to go down there.
Beautiful country. But yeah, anyways, we're chugging along, man. I'm watching for that like 1,000. I'm sure between Spotify and Apple and stuff, we've got well over 1,000 downloads and listens by now.
We're doing good stuff. Yeah. We're having a lot of fun doing it. It's growing
slowly. Yeah, I mean, it's just a treat to just get to talk to you and see your lovely face every week. Even though we see each other a lot golfing and other situations.
We probably see each other at least twice a week.
Yeah.
On average.
Generally speaking.
If you average it out throughout the year, probably like at least twice a week.
Yeah.
And we don't even live that close.
No. That'll be a little bit closer soon.
Soon.
Very soon.
Yeah. So we'll probably have that coming up, story about the build. We'll probably get a couple more guests coming on.
I get a bunch of YouTube videos coming up from hiking. So if you're interested in sections of the Long Trail, Vermont, whatever, check them out. I already got one up on the Monroe Skyline, Ellen and Abraham.
Yeah.
And there's going to be quite a few more between Sunset Ledge and Kingsbury Reservoir and then Campbell Sump. Campbell Sump, man, I'm looking forward to editing that one.
Great videos.
It's going to be fun to put it up.
Great videos. Great. Cool. That camera's awesome.
Yeah. Again, at Nick Hikes and Plays Guitar is my handle.
Yes, sir.
My handle on YouTube.
Your handle.
But yeah, cool.
All right. Bippity boppity. Give me the zoppity.
Bye. PUDs Podcast was produced and recorded in Black Hat Studios by the Pud Boys. Find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving us a review and subscribing. Find us on social media, and we'll see you next time.